I'm telling you that the love that you can find when you're single for yourself is more and a better love than you'll ever get from anybody else. Hey, what's happening, guys? Nick Boletto here, back with another video. In today's video, where I'm gonna give you some keys to get over heartbreak. The reason I want to make this video is that I think that there's a lot of women on YouTube who have made similar videos, and I think that women do such a great job of supporting each other and giving each other that love and support that you need post-heartbreak. And I think that women are not afraid to sort of talk about those feelings and emotions that they're having and talk about how to move on from these heartbreaks. But as men, a lot of times we just associate emotions with our masculinity and that they don't really coincide. So as a man, I wanted to be able to get on here on YouTube and kind of share a lot of the ideas that I had. Hopefully that other guys see this and they can relate to me and we can all get better because of it. So I'm gonna get right into it with you guys and be completely open and honest about some of my experiences. Unfortunately, I've had my heartbreak quite a few times. I know that I've broken some hearts along the way, and it never feels good, man, but I've kind of come up with a few things that I think that everybody could benefit from in the wakes of a breakup and getting your heart broken. So the way I want to go about doing this video is I think there are 3 important sort of time frames following a breakup that kind of require different steps. So I'm going to break it up into those different time periods. The first one being just this first 24 to 72 hours, first 1 to 3 days. These are things that I think you need to do immediately in order to kind of start getting over that person. Step number 1 is you gotta cry. If you wanna cry, you gotta cry. You got to. Because if you don't do it in the first 24 hours, if you don't do it right away, you're gonna be crying about that person for days, weeks, months, maybe even years to come. So if you're hurting, and that's fine to be hurting, cry, let it out. It's gonna make you feel better in the long run. It's an absolutely necessary thing to do, I think, if you're hurting. Tip number 2 is to put yourself in the company of friends and loved ones right away. So if you are a college student, which I know a lot of the people who watch these videos are in college, and you live with roommates, maybe you get dumped and your roommates are in their rooms doing homework, maybe you just knock on their door or shoot them a text or something and say, hey, I just want to be around you right now. Can we work on homework together in the living room? We don't need to talk or anything. I just need to be around people. You don't even need to bring it up to them. You don't even need to tell them what happened. Just be around people who care about you. Just be in the presence of others. It'll really make a difference in the long run. And the third thing that I think you absolutely have to do immediately is I think you absolutely need to disconnect from whoever the other person in this situation is, especially when it comes to social media. So Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, gotta get rid of them on all those social media platforms. If you happen to date me or somebody else with a YouTube channel, unsubscribe to them on YouTube. On Facebook, you don't have to actually go all the way through with unfriending them. I mean, it's totally up to you if you want to, but Facebook has this feature where you can hide posts from people, so you can hide their posts. I had an ex actually unfriend me on my FitnessPal, which seems crazy, but I'm telling you, if you're seeing their name pop up, if you're seeing pictures of them constantly, it's just going to drive you crazy, and they are never going to get out of your head. You need to get this person out of your head in order for you to start recovering. The next time period that's important to a breakup is the first 1 to 4 weeks. The number one thing that I can tell you about those first 1 to 4 weeks is that you're going to find you have a lot of extra time for yourself, because you don't actually realize when you're in a relationship how much time you invest into your relationship, whether that's texting the person that you love, phone calls, actually spending time with them, etc. Just them being on your mind all the time. With all of that extra time that you do have, it's important that you find constructive things to invest that time in And I would suggest investing time into yourself. Just something that's gonna fill the time that makes you feel good. That's what's going to be most important in this first 1 to 4 months, is filling that extra time that you have. Another tip for those first 1 to 4 weeks, and this is something absolutely not to do, so I've given a bunch of things to do. These are 2 things coming up that you should not do. 1, don't take to social media, because you do not want to trash that person. You know, if you dated somebody, whether it was for a month or a year, 3 years, 6 months, it doesn't matter. You cared about that person, you liked that person a lot, you invited that person into an intimate part of your life. And if you go on social media and talk trash about that particular person or about that entire gender that that person is a part of, I mean, it's just gonna make you look bad. I mean, what does it say about you if you dated somebody that you think is trash? Unless that person was trash, or that person cheated on you or abused you, yeah, they're trash. And you know what? Slay them, take to the internet, because I want to see that. But really, guys, if a person and you just don't work out in a romantic relationship, that's fine. You're allowed to not work out, but don't take to social media about it. You're only going to regret that in the end. And the second tip of what not to do is don't go out looking for a rebound. Don't go out partying and drinking and all these other things, just looking for random hookups. Those random hookups have feelings too. I mean, you're gonna end up hurting other people in that sort of time period. And in hurting other people, you're really just gonna end up hurting yourself in the long run, because eventually you're gonna realize what you did to that person was also wrong. You just compounded the mistakes you made from the previous relationship to this new one with this new person. And eventually all of that guilt is gonna eat you up inside. So don't go looking for a rebound. Invest extra time in yourself. Don't worry about your next romantic relationship, and don't take to social media to talk trash about it. And the third time period, so we had the first 1 to 4 weeks. Now I'll talk about the first 1 to 4 months. So in the first 1 to 4 weeks, I said, under no circumstances should you really try to go out and find a new romantic relationship. However, in the first 1 to 4 months, I think it's extremely important to go on a date or 2. Now, obviously, I wouldn't say just go out and try finding random hookups unless that's your thing, and if it is, you know, so be it. But I think going on serious dates, seeing that there are other people out there, that one person that you dated for however long it was, you know, there are other people who can make you just as happy. And honestly, you can go on a date and just in one date with somebody be like, oh wow, you know, maybe that breakup could end up being the best thing for me. My last tip for this first 1 to 4 months is the same tip that I gave you in this first 1 to 4 weeks. Continue to invest in yourself. Set yourself up for the future. You know, learn to grow and build and love you as a single person before you go into another romantic relationship. I'm telling you that the love that you can find when you're single for yourself is more and a better love than you'll ever get from anybody else. If anything that I said did resonate with you guys, if you found that these tips were helpful, I'd really like to know. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. It lets me know that you guys like this type of video and you want to see more like it. Give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in that next video.